everybody, welcome to our live stream. Hello especially to our early visitors. We got some people already in the chat room. Hi Mike, and hi Jacobo, and let's see who else is here. Neil Rocks, how are you doing? Thanks for being here. Neil Rocks is, Neil, what do you play? Have you been in the chat room before? Neil Rocks, let me know what you play. I know Mike Hamilton is a sax player. And Jacobo, you can tell us what you play. Hi Carly and Dragon. Okay, a lot of people checking in. How you all doing on a Sunday night? It is, okay, hi Logan. It is Sunday night and we are now in daylight, oh no, we're switched out of daylight savings time. So now it's dark. It's very dark at 5 o'clock here, which I don't like it when it's dark so early, but I do like that it's not dark when I wake up in the morning. So that is really great. So hi everybody, just a reminder about our chat room rules, which I put in our chat room and in our in the comments there. So just make sure you participate in the chat and put your questions in, and you can even answer other people's questions if you know the answer. Just remember 2 rules: always be nice and don't spam the comments, which means don't put the same comment in 1,000 times. I'll get to your questions, as many questions as I possibly can. So why don't we jump right in here to some questions. Let's see. Hi Showery Soup. I'll do some shout outs, as many as I can. Let's see here. Anil, hi Anil. Anil is back. Anil, what's your question about 4/4? So my student Anil, who's in the chat room again, back again. Good to see you as always. We've been working on conducting in band class. So has anyone out there learned or tried to conduct? So if you watch your band director conduct, here's the quick 3 basic conducting patterns. All right, I want everyone to try with me. Okay. So if you're going to conduct, conducting means the person in the front of the band who shows the beats, okay? So the person in the front of the band who shows everyone how to do the beat, okay? So let's learn how to conduct in 2/4. So the first beat of every time you're conducting, the first beat is always down. Ready? So we're going to do our hands like this, and we're going to go down. That's always 1. Now, if we're going to do 2, you simply go down, up, down, up, 1, 2, 1, 2, and you have to make that sort of J shape, okay? If you're going to do 3/4, you go down for 1, out for 2, up for 3. Down, out, up. Everyone try that. Down, out, up. You can do 2 hands or 1 hand. Here's 1 hand. Down, out, up. Down, out, up. For 4, we have to add an extra beat in there. So after our down beat, we go 1, and this time we go in towards the middle of your body. So down, in, out, up. Okay, that's 4. So let's all try conducting in 4. Ready? Down, in, out, up, 1, 2, 3, 4. So there is our basic conducting. So I hope you have fun with that. Jacobo is checking in and saying that he has a Veterans Day parade tomorrow, so good luck with that. Okay, Tofili is checking in with a good question. How do I hit the low notes easier on tenor sax? So getting the low notes, who out there plays saxophone? Check in if you play saxophone, everybody. So sometimes playing low notes on saxophone is tricky. The main problem that people have, I'm going to demonstrate on my tenor sax, which is right here. Oops, I just dropped my trumpet. Here's my tenor sax. And people usually have similar problems on alto sax too. Okay, so if you play alto sax, this applies to you as well. Have you ever had the problem where you try to play low? Oh boy, let me fix this here. As you go lower, my reed is not warmed up at all. Make sure your reed is wet before you play. Okay, sax players and clarinet players always look kind of funny when they keep their reeds in their mouth, but we do it because the reed has to be wet before you play. Okay, so here we go. This is a little bit off. Let's fix that. So as you go lower, right, some people get this sound. It goes high, right, and you don't want it to go high. So what we do is we have to do with our embouchure, we have to make more of an O shape, and your jaw has to open up a little bit. And it's just like playing low notes on a brass instrument. You have to imagine like you have, I say imagine like there's a golf ball on your tongue or a ping pong ball, and that opens up your mouth inside a little bit as you go lower. So check it out. Oh, and I'm opening up a little bit with my embouchure. So there we go. And guys, I want you to say hello to Uncle Joe, who is in the chat room. Uncle Joe is in the chat room, and he is checking out your comments and helping us highlight some comments. So Joe, if you see any good questions, you could maybe copy and paste them, and I'll be looking out for those. Let's see. How do you play high notes on the flute? Who asked that question? High notes on the flute. Let me show you how. So here's my flute embouchure. A very tiny hole. So a low G. My lips are sort of pulled back a little bit. And when I want to play a high note, I make the aperture smaller, like you're focusing a camera or like focusing, if you have a hose and you're pouring water, or water's coming out of a hose, if you put your thumb on the end, it kind of focuses the water and the water goes faster. That's what you do here. You focus your air smaller. That's how you do your octaves on the flute. So there we go. Okay. How do I get, let's see. Fred is asking, Fred is asking, how long did Mr. Selfridge have his YouTube channel? I started my channel in 2011. That's a long time ago, right? But I started it just to make videos for my students at school. And then it just kind of started catching on. People started watching my videos in other kids from other schools, and so it's just something fun, and I like to make videos to help anyone who needs help with their band instruments. Nauman Mascati, what is the correct embouchure for alto sax? Correct embouchure is this for all saxophones. Ready? Say O, and also you kind of say the sound E. That kind of firms up your corners. I don't know why that works, but if you say E, it kind of firms here, and these press against your teeth. Your cheeks and your corners should be pressed down against your teeth like they're glued down, right? You say O, so your bottom lip should have wrinkles on it, okay? Then, where's my mouthpiece? Here's my alto. Then, your mouthpiece goes in, the reed goes on the bottom lip, your top teeth have to go directly on top, all right? And I do something called the wiggle test to make sure the top teeth are touching the top. Bottom lip, top teeth. It shouldn't be able to wiggle. And close your lips. That's the saxophone embouchure for all saxophones. Lone Wolfie with Maya says, can I play my clarinet? Lone Wolfie, do you have any requests of what you would like me to play on my clarinet? I'll get my clarinet out. This afternoon, I just recorded three new clarinet videos. Where's my clarinet? Oh, here it is. So those clarinet videos should be coming soon. So I'm playing my clarinet right now. Just let me know what I should play on the clarinet. Any requests? I'll see if I can play something on the clarinet. While I look for requests, Carly's asking, what is the difference between a plastic reed and a wooden reed? Okay, wooden reeds basically sound a little bit better. Plastic reeds are more consistent because you don't have to wet them, and they don't change with humidity. So plastic reeds are sort of like you slap them on there and they work, and then but they don't have quite as good of a sound as a traditional cane reed. Okay, the Titanic theme on clarinet. That was Titanic. Hope you guys like that one. Someone else said the Mario theme. Wait. Oh. Something like that. I think I got most of the notes. I got a couple notes wrong. Let's see. A G major scale on the trumpet. Someone requested that. I'll play some trumpet for you guys. Now, trumpet is not my main instrument, but I've learned how to do some basic trumpet to play with my students. You always want to get warmed up by buzzing your mouthpiece. That's how brass players get their high and their low notes. They buzz, faster and higher buzzes. Now, a G major scale, depending on which one you want, the low octave, really low, low G, it's almost the lowest note you can play on trumpet. Ba. That's really low. Now there's a second octave, which is probably what you're asking. G, A, B, C, D, E, F sharp, G. You gotta play an F sharp in a G major scale. Now that gets a little bit high for me because I don't practice trumpet as much as someone who's a professional trumpet player. But that's your G major scale. How about someone asked for, let me hear, Poorly Mouse. Dr. Selfridge, I got 7th place on All County. Oh, geez, I lost it. Here he is. Poorly Mouse. Dr. Selfridge, I don't know if you remember me, but I got 7th place on All County out of 76 saxophones, and I gave you the advice. Yay! Let's all clap for Poorly Mouse. Good job for 7th place out of 76. That's amazing. So good job. I'm glad that whatever I said was helpful for you, okay? Let's see here. My flute can't play G. Uh-oh, Stinky says, my flute can't play G. How do I fix it? Probably the issue you're having is if there's a note that doesn't work, it's probably because look and see if this key is closing. When you play G, I bet that key isn't closing all the way. And so it might be a spring is off on your flute, or maybe one of the screws need to be adjusted. I would bring it to your band director or to a music store for them to fix it. So you check the note. It's probably this key that's not going down all the way, so check that. Let's see here. Random Man Carter, do I own a Barry? Yes, I have a Barry. Well, I don't own one myself. We have one at the school that I use sometimes. A lot of great questions here. How to do vibrato on the flute. CG Galaxy. How to play vibrato on the flute. Vibrato on the flute. Here we go. Step 1. Make your embouchure. Blow air onto your hand. Now, vibrato on the flute is when you pulse your air a little stronger, a little less strong. So it's like little pushes of air. So with your embouchure, blow air onto your hand and make it go a little heavier and a little less, back and forth. But it should never stop, okay? And then when you do that on your flute, like let's take a B flat. Those little pulses make the vibrato, and you got to practice it slow and then faster. Okay, so that is basically how you do vibrato, and you work on that. Okay. Chocolate Chip, we're playing Furioso for band. Do I know that one? I don't know that song. Who's the composer? Do you know who the composer is? Can you send that? Anthony throws, I have a trumpet valve that sticks halfway sometimes. It doesn't do it all the time. I've tried oiling it and no luck. Any suggestions? So if you have a trumpet valve that keeps getting stuck even though you've oiled it, it could be that you have a little dent somewhere in here. If you bumped your trumpet or dropped your trumpet, you can cause your valve that can actually mess up your valve. So if you've oiled it and the oil is not helping, have someone check out this part of your trumpet and make sure there's no issues that need to be fixed. That could be the reason. Okay. Let's see. Oh, the SpongeBob theme on clarinet. Owen Hart. I will do that one. And then there was a good question. Oh, I lost it. Let me do the SpongeBob theme on clarinet. I'll play it like this for you. Stand up a little bit. There we go. So there's a good request. That's a fun one. Okay. Uncle Joe has highlighted a question here. I will play saxophone next. I've had a request to play sax. I'll play sax next. So this question comes from Julie. I'm a junior. I play B-flat clarinet. All region music has high C and goes up to high D-flat, but the note comes out every once in a while, but not all the time. Okay, so high C, okay, and goes up to high D flat. So a high C, which is 2 ledger lines above the staff, is your thumb and your register key. And then a high D flat is when you go the high C fingering and add these two and these two. So if you're having trouble with those notes, if they're not coming out, step 1, make sure that your reed is not too soft. If you're playing like a 2 or a 2.5, even a 3, depending, that might be too soft. And it could be that you need a firmer reed, because when you get up into the high notes, you need a firmer reed to really support that sound. So I recommend at least a number 3 reed, 3.5 maybe. And make sure you are pushing a lot of air. If you try to play too quiet, it might not come out, and firm up your embouchure. So firm embouchure, fast air, and make sure your reed is strong enough. Okay. Another question from Uncle Joe's watching your comments. Aiden, do I have any tips for air conservation? My school band does a concert B-flat scale in whole notes for warm-up, and you run out of air really quick. So Aiden, can you tell us what instrument you play? The main thing to do is to take really deep breaths down in your belly and practice long tones on your instrument. Basically, Aiden plays clarinet. Okay, so practice long tones on your clarinet and see how long you can hold the note, and then see how soft you can get, which means what's like the minimum amount of air you can use but still get a good sound. So time yourself. Use a stopwatch on your phone or on the computer or whatever, and see how long you can hold a note. Take a deep breath and try to extend your time over a couple of weeks. See how that works. Okay, so a lot of people want Bad Guy by Billie Eilish. I need to look that song up. Maybe that will be my next tutorial. Okay, so I know a lot of people want that song. I don't know how to play it right now, but I will listen to it and I'll figure it out, okay? I get a lot of requests, guys, and I try to do as many as I can. But it can sometimes be very busy, especially because I'm also teaching all week at my high school. So, all right, Einstein Naji has 3 questions. Do I have any oboe videos coming up? How do you deal with and remember transpositions, and how many instruments do I play? All right, Einstein, good questions. One, I know I don't have any I don't have any oboe videos, and I really need to do some oboe videos. So I will try to add that to my top list of things to do. I do have some friends who play oboe who can do some videos for me. Okay. Two, how do I deal and how do I remember transpositions? That just takes a lot of practice and thinking through it. It took me probably a couple years to really feel super comfortable with transpositions, and now I'm really good at transpositions. One good trick for remembering transpositions is if you take the name of the instrument, like a B flat clarinet or an E flat alto sax, right? Or an F, a French horn is in F. What that means is when that instrument plays what they think of as a C. So when an alto sax player plays a C, what they think is a C, what's actually coming out is an E flat. That's why it's called an E flat alto sax. And when a clarinet plays a C, when they think they're playing a C, what actually comes out is a B flat on the piano, and that's why they're called a B flat clarinet. I hope that helps. And I play a bunch of instruments. I probably play all the instruments in the band to some degree. Alto sax careless whisper. Sure, why not? This is a popular one. Let's do a little careless whisper. I have a video on this. And Mary Had the Lamb on clarinet, I can do that. So here's a little careless whisper. Just as I was playing that, Epic Memester asked, how do I do vibrato on alto sax? So vibrato on alto sax and any saxophone is the same. You take your bottom teeth and bottom lip and you just ever so slightly, this is what I do, you push up into the reed very slightly to create a wavering in the sound. So push up into the reed and then back to normal position. I think of the syllable ya, 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 or wah, 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 wah. Think of that a spinning wah, 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 wah. Let's just we'll do a B. Wah, 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 wah. And don't let the sound cut out. It has to stay. Adios, Junior. Thank you for being here. A wavering of the sound. And then you work on getting it faster. And then you work on putting it into your music. So there's vibrato. Mike Hamilton, I know you've been waiting for a request that you made of that happy birthday song. As I said, it's been a super busy time of year for me. We're in high school marching band season, and that's been taking up a lot of my time. So I don't always get to requests as quickly as I would like to. So sorry about that, Mike. I do have it on my list, and I will try to get to that when I have time. Let's see. Pink Panther. And Crazy Hair is asking me my best instrument. I'd say my best instrument is alto sax. All right, here's Pink Panther. There we go. Okay. So, let's see here. Hello by Adele. Maybe I'll play that later. Other questions. Okay, from Joe. Ava Campbell says, can't seem to hold my 8 counts on my flute. Any tips? Okay, Ava. So, here's the thing about playing long notes on flute. I get the similar questions to this almost every week. You've got to conserve your air on flute by not letting too much air out of your embouchure. So if you think about if you're pouring water out of a container, if the container has a big hole in it, the water is all going to splash out at once, right? If the container has a small hole, the water is going to just last for a long time in a steady stream. So that's the way you should think about. Bye, Annalie Banana. Thank you. Anyone who has to leave, thank you for joining us. Autumn, thank you. So think of that pouring water out of a container like your flute embouchure. So the aperture, which is how much space you have between your lips, is the size of the opening on your container. So if you have really open lips, you're going to run out of air really fast. That's what a lot of beginner flutes sound like, right? Right? And they get dizzy because they're running out of air so much. Tighten up your aperture, like focusing a lens, and you can hold your air a lot longer. And Sonia, this is actually an answer to your question about clear sound on flute. Working on your aperture and finding just the right amount of air to hit the edge of the flute right here and make the sound. That'll make a clear sound. If your aperture is too big, that's the way you get the airy sound. Smaller, like you're making this sound. That's how you do it. All right, reused corruption. Where is trumpet and trombone notes? So reused, if you could ask me, do you have a specific notes that you want to know? Because there are a lot of notes I could go over there. Basic notes on the trumpet. If you Google trumpet notes or a fingering chart, you'll get a chart. C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C. There's your C scale. Okay, another one highlighted by Uncle Joe. And we have just a few minutes left here, folks. So thank you for being here. Danny and Allie is asking, where did you get your clarinet? I'm thinking of buying one, but I don't know where to get one. Okay. Here's a big tip for buying clarinets. Number one, the name brand of the clarinet is super important. So if you go on to Google or anywhere and you just search buy a clarinet, you will find all kinds of clarinets out there, and you'll find some clarinets that look really nice and they look really low price. Like you can't believe how cheap they are. And you want to be careful, because if the brand name is not a brand name that we know and trust as a clarinet that works well, you might end up buying something that's not going to work well for you. So you want to look for, ready? Ask your band director too. Selmer, Buffet, which is B-U-F-F-E-T, Yamaha, Jupiter makes pretty good clarinets. Let's see, anything else? I'm blanking a little. Artley makes a pretty good clarinet. So if it's not one of those recognized brand names, ask someone who's a professional. But don't just go out there on the internet and buy the cheapest one you find, because those ones tend to break really easily. And even though they're cheap, like it's only maybe $100, it's not going to be worth your money, because they'll break after a couple weeks and then you won't be able to fix it. So there's my advice there. Okay, so why don't we I always like to do this, folks, as we get ready to finish up. Can you guys check in and let me know where you're watching from, and I will give you some shout outs, okay? So some shout outs where everyone's watching from, and please make sure you follow me on Instagram at Dr. Selfridge, Twitter and Facebook if you do that sort of stuff. And if you follow me on Instagram, it'll pop up on my phone and I'll actually be able to give you a shout out too. So Destroyer is in Texas, Alejandro is in El Paso, Unicorns for Life is in Minnesota, Maxie is in Michigan, Sonia is in Florida, Victoria, LaConley is in Lufkin, Texas, Sarah is in Michigan. Hello, Sarah. Brian is in Phoenix, Arizona. Chocolate Chip is in Georgia. Hi, Chocolate Chip. Mike, yes, once again is in Scotland. How are you, Mike? Neil, my student, is in Pennsylvania. Einstein is in Colorado, Greeley, Colorado. Hello. Junior Carrera is in Chicago. And let's see, Will Metz is just followed me on Instagram, and it's Penn just followed me on Instagram. Thank you guys. If you look on my Instagram, I had a really great weekend. I got to conduct a 5th and 6th grade honor band. So I got to conduct some 5th and 6th graders in an honor band in Pennsylvania, about 2 hours from where I live. So that was fun. I posted a little video on Instagram. So follow me on Instagram at Dr. Selfridge. You can see that video. Alyssa Jimenez, thank you for following me on Instagram. So 21 Chicken, my Instagram is right here. It's at Dr. Selfridge, okay? So someone asked me, Allison, can I answer your DM on Instagram? So I'll check my Instagram DMs. I don't always get a chance to respond to them because I get a lot. Neil Rocks Roblox, thank you for following me on Instagram. But I will take a look, and I try to respond to all the communications I get. Makeup by Conley is following me on Twitter. Thank you. And guys, those of you that have to leave, thanks for being here. We are just about ready to finish up. So I'm going to play Star Wars. Ben22 Chicken followed me on Instagram. What instrument? Oh, Sonia, I already answered your question. How to have a clear sound on the flute. Work on your flute embouchure, focusing the space of your lips, not letting too much air out. What should I play? What instrument should I play Star Wars on? Before I go, what instrument should I play Star Wars on? Trombone. Okay. Destroyer, I didn't play any trombone yet today. So the first person to respond said, oh, Star Wars on trombone. Here's my trombone. So, I can barely fit my trombone in my little music room here. So I'm not warmed up on trombone. Let's do a little... So I apologize for my, mediocre trombone playing, but so I hope you enjoyed that, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for all your questions. And if I didn't get to your question or your request, I apologize. We get a lot of those coming through. But thank you for being here. Next week, I'll be back, same time, live stream at 5. That's 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Please let your friends know to check out my live stream and ask their questions. You can ask questions in the comments. And thank you for being here. So, guys, I will see you next time. It's on a Sunday. Sunday. Okay, bye, guys. Thank you, Uncle Joe, for being in the chat room and helping us out there. And everyone have a great week. Don't forget to practice. Okay, bye.